85% of people hate their jobs. Now let that sink in, because I think that is a shocking statistic. And in this video, I want to talk about ways that you could potentially find a job that you love from a perspective of someone who used to hate my job, used to hate going into the office every single morning. And in order to do this, I'd like to show you the 2 building blocks that personally I think they are extremely important in finding the job that you love. Now both of them are equally important, and personally I don't think each of them can exist without one another. First building blocks is a very practical one, and it covers the skills you need to be happy at your job. Now as you know, there's so many skills out in this world, but in order to determine which skills that you possess and which skills that you can actually monetize and make a living from, you need to be asking yourself a few tough questions. And the first one is, what do you do that you think you can do better than some people or most people? Now this may not be obvious at first, because as we go on our day-to-day basis, I actually did an Instagram post the other day about how we actually don't really understand ourselves. So to ask yourself what you do that is better than most people is actually not a very simple question to answer. So if you don't have the answer to this question yet, then I would highly suggest you to buy a small notepad, carry it with you, and really be observant at the thing that you do on a day-to-day basis and make a judgment on whether you actually do it better than most people. It could be something that you're doing at work already and you know that you are actually doing better than your peers, or it could be something outside of work that people come for you and ask for your opinion or your suggestion because they think that you can do it and they can't. Because the essential part of being happy about your job is that you need to be pretty good at doing it and being competent at it. I'll talk about competency in a second, but at this point in time, you just want to focus on listing as many skills as possible. We're not even going to think about whether you can monetize these skills. We just want to have a list of skills, and that is a good place to start off with. On top of the skills that you think you can do better than some people, you might also want to ask yourself another question, which is, what do you enjoy doing? And this could be anything like, for example, you might be someone that enjoy talking to people. Then there are certain jobs that you can use that skill and you can excel at it, and it will make you feel happy. You might be someone that enjoy being creative. Maybe you're not an artistic person, but you like to create something, building something. That is also another skill. And at this point, we don't want to be limiting ourselves when writing all these skills down. I don't want you to think that because you enjoy doing it, I don't want you to think that maybe you can't monetize it or you might not be able to make it a job. In this world and age, there's always been new jobs being created. 50 years ago, who would have thought that influencers could be an actual well-paid job? And look where we are today. So I do believe that there will always be new jobs created, and who knows, some of it might be created by you. As we're talking about skills, I would like to take a minute to thank the sponsor of this section of the video today, HelloFresh. Cooking is one of the things that I really enjoy doing. However, I am not creative at all when it comes to meals planning. And this is why I am so glad that I have help from HelloFresh, because it makes my daily life so much easier. In my box this week, I ordered a variety of recipes. I ordered 2 rapid recipes, which are the Thai-style peanut chicken noodles and aromatic beef pilaf. And also 1 street food recipe, which is pulled chipotle chicken and chorizo quesadillas. With Christmas is around the corner, I find there's just so many things to do during this time of the year in terms of preparing for the festivity, catching up with your friends before the New Year's. So I'm finding I barely have any time to plan and do my weekly shopping. This is why I'm pre-planning some of my weekly meals with HelloFresh and get everything delivered straight to my door. The meals are starting from just £3.15 per person. The beef pilaf was just so easy to make, and all the ingredients were really fresh. In under 20 minutes, this delicious meal was prepped and ready to be served. Order your first box today and get 60% off your first box. But not only that, you also get 25% off the next 8 boxes. That's right, 8. T's and C's applied. Once again, thank you HelloFresh for changing my life and sponsoring this part of the video. And once you've asked yourself those two questions, and I want you to actually start it with those two questions because they are more important. They are the question about yourself. However, if you have listed down all these skills and you're still not sure whether you want to pursue these skills as your career, then you might want to ask yourself another question, which is, what are the other things that other people do that you would like to do it as well? And this is why I didn't recommend this as first point of action, because I think you should be focusing on yourself before looking at what people does. But if you come to realize that the skills that you have, or what you're actually better than most people, or what you enjoy doing is actually not the things that will get you to where you want to be in the future, then you need to ask yourself, what are the skills that I want to possess and what kind of person I want to become in the future? So at this point, after asking yourself all these questions, then you should have a really good list of skills or activities or jobs. But we're not done yet, because in order for you to feel like you're loving your job, it needs to give you happiness. And happiness is an emotional state, and therefore just looking solely at the practical level or skills level, that won't bring you to the emotional state of happiness. And that's why there is a second building block, which I call the contentment building block, which deals with the emotional side of things or the spiritual side of things. When your job or what you do for work actually gives you the true feeling of fulfillment and enjoyment, then it will make you feel happy doing what you do. And this is why a lot of people hate that job, because that job is not fulfilling, that job is not enjoyable. Some of these ideas or concepts that I'll be mentioning now are taken from the book So Good They Can't Ignore You from Cal Newport. And the first one is competence. Regardless of what you do for a living, if you're not good at it or if you're not competent at it, you'll never feel happy doing it. So from the list of the skills that we listed in the previous exercise, you want to be looking at which skills that you are actually competent at, or which skills that you can learn to be competent at. There's a really good quote from the book, which is that the happiest, most passionate employees are not those who follow their passion into the position, but instead those who have been around long enough to become good at what they do. Take myself for example. When I made my first, I would say 10 videos, it was a struggle. I didn't have camera presence skills, I didn't have video editing skills, Photoshop or photo editing skills. I had absolutely no skills in regards to making content. So although I enjoy sharing my thoughts and ideas, however, the process of producing a video, I hated it and I did not enjoy it. But I've been around in the game long enough now that I am getting better at video editing. I am so much better at speaking on the camera, well, I hope, as you can see. So it has made this job, being a part-time YouTuber, a lot more enjoyable for me, and it makes me feel a lot happier. Now, have you ever heard a saying that says people don't leave company because of the company, but people leave company because of their managers? I do, and from experience, honestly believe that this is one of the reasons why people actually leave jobs or change jobs or hate their jobs in particular. We all know that micromanaging is neither cute or productive. So in whichever job or career that you choose, if you're in an environment that doesn't give you autonomy, you'll never be happy in that job. And I can really say that this is absolutely true for myself. I worked for a company that I could not make any decision. Any decision that had to be made had to go through a hierarchy of people, and sometimes before the decision is made, I was asked to do more work, more analysis, and it might take weeks and months, and when the decision is made, it was actually the things that I suggested them to do to begin with. And this is why I hated that job. I hated going into work. But now I am working for a company that gives me full autonomy, being in decision making. I can implement any policies that I want as long as it fits with the overall company goals. The company trusts me and treat me like an adult because that's why they hired me for. And although I am doing exact same job as I was doing before with other companies, I am so much happier, and I can say that I truly love my job now because I have the sense of autonomy, relatedness or purpose. Now, if you're a dog owner, you understand that every dog breeds have breed-related purpose. And same as us, every one of us has our own purpose that maybe sometimes we are aware of, and some of us might not be aware of our true purpose. But if your job or your work is actually aligned with your personal individual purpose, you are 100% going to enjoy and love your job more, because it gives you the sense of contentment and happiness. Again, if I was going to give an example about my previous jobs that I had, I used to work for big corporations, I used to work for public companies, and I found that those purpose of those companies do not align with my personal purpose or value at all. Big corporations or public companies, they do care about one thing, and it's not you, it's the shareholders. And there's only one thing that shareholders care about: profit. So it doesn't matter if they work you to the ground, it doesn't matter if you don't get fairly paid, as long as companies make enough profit, the shareholders are happy, and the company goals are being met. And I can say that that is not my purpose in life. I am actually very much a people person. As you can see, I am sitting down here on a random Saturday talking to the camera, sharing things to other people, because I find the message could be important and life-changing to a lot of people, and that's why I'm doing it. And therefore, the goals of those companies do not align with my personal value, and that's why I was never happy working for those companies. And I have to mention this one because although if we're talking about contentment or happiness in our job or our career, it shouldn't be the first thing that we think about first. However, it's one of the most important one, which is the financial return. Regardless of what you choose to do as a career, if you're not fairly compensated or if you don't get paid enough, you'll never be happy doing it. And that's just unfortunate, but the truth is this is the world that we're living in today. Most of the things that you need to trade for them with money. So after going through all these exercises, including the skills and everything else that we talk about, you want to make sure that you pick something that can pay you fairly. Otherwise, you're really not going to be happy doing what you're doing. Now, before the end of the video, I would really like to give a very important food for thought when it comes to career and happiness. I feel like finding the perfect career sometimes it's kind of like finding the perfect partner, because first of all, you've got to kiss a few frogs before you find the right one. And just like finding a partner, most of the time your partner cannot be your everything. And this is why you have separate activities or conversations with your partner than ones with your friends. Our goal, of course, is to find that one single job that can give you everything that you want, whether that be the feeling of contentment, happiness, giving you that fulfillment, autonomy, fulfilling your purpose. It's got to be something that is enjoyable, and it's got to be something that pays you fairly. And if you find it, it is absolutely amazing. Congratulations. However, sometimes one single job may tick a lot of boxes, but it might not tick all the boxes. But that doesn't mean that your life is doomed. We need to believe that we have choices in life. So therefore, if you have a single job that tick a lot of boxes but not all the boxes, you might supplement some of the missing pieces from having another activities, another side hustles, or things that you do outside of your main single full-time job. It might be a matter of doing 2 part-time jobs, but both of them together giving you that sense of fulfillment and happiness. Or it could be a matter of having one full-time single job, but then having side hustles, side activities, and those together brings you happiness as well. Whatever you choose, I just want you to understand that you have choices. And if you absolutely hate your job and you hate going into work every day, you can change that by doing all this exercise or by trying different things and see what makes you feel good, what makes you happy.